Okay, folks, here we are. We got a treat for you today, especially if you love the old Poulan CounterVibes. Okay, it's got a kind of a unique color scheme. It's got the normal, um, Poulan green here, but then the the top is not your typical, green that you might see on say a 4200, or the black that you might see on a 5200. And this one is neither of those two saws. And it's not a 4400 or an 8500, but this one is a Poulan 4900 CounterVibe. It's in pretty nice condition. It's got a 24-inch bar on it, and you can tell that it's one of the not one of the 4200 or 5200s because of this wide foot plate down here. The 4200 and 5200 came with the narrow foot plate, and I think all of the others, the 4900, the 4400, the 6900, the 7700, the 8500, I think they all came with the wide foot plate like this one has, and no chain brake, and just a pretty nice example of this saw. And we're gonna take some covers off and look to see what kind of condition it's in. But from the outside looking, it's looks pretty good. There's the there's the bottom. Not much wear. A little bit on the foot plate back there, a little bit on this center ridge, but really not too bad. Wear on the paint. That decal looks pretty good, and when I get this camera in the on the tripod, we'll dig into it and we'll see what this thing looks like under some of the covers. Okay, here we are. I'm going to take off the bar and chain, and I'll take off the top cover. We'll dig in, we'll see what the clutch looks like, we'll see what the air cleaner looks like, and here we go. Story behind this: the owner said that he is the second owner of this saw. The original owner was the current owner's brother, and he said that his brother used it periodically. Didn't get a lot of use in it, but it did get used. And he said that oh wow, pretty clean in there. He said that it had a fuel leak from the tank. He didn't know where. It's obviously been oiling. It's it's got oil on the bar plate there. Now let's get the chain off. Okay, there's the chain. There's the bar. The bar, well, we'll have to, it's got a little bit of wear on it, but we'll dress that and it should be good. This is looks like an original Poulan bar. It's got a little bit of damage right here, but that should be okay. Doesn't look too bad. It's a 3/8 pitch chain, and it's got the chain adjuster, or tensioner right there. Now this is a spur sprocket. I don't know if Poulan ever used a rim sprocket on any of these large CounterVibes. I haven't seen any of the newest versions, but this one is a spur sprocket, and by the looks of it, it's very similar to the clutch that's on my my 5200 and my 4200. It's got the grounding wire here. What it does not have, surprisingly, I don't know if it was supposed to. It looks like it was. It does not have a plate. It's supposed to have an identification plate right here. At least my 5200 and my 4200 have an identification plate here. But perhaps the 4900 didn't come with that. I don't know, but there are provisions for it there. But anyway, let's take off this top cover and see what it looks like underneath. Now, for those of you out there who are, big fans of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, I don't know the exact model number, the 4400, the 4900, but this is one that it has the wide footplate on it, like the one from Texas Chainsaw Massacre has. Oh, it's missing a screw up here in the front. I'll have to find a replacement for that. But nice and clean under the hood. And oh man, it is nice to see that the air filter on this is absolutely perfect. It looks brand new. These are almost impossible to find, and this one looks almost as if it's never been run. I mean, I don't know if it'll focus on that, but all the flocking is there. I mean, it's just perfect. There's barely any dirt on it. And there is some dirt down in here in the air box. But that's expected from a saw that's been used. It's got a Champion spark plug in it. Carburetor looks good. The high and low jet right here on the 4200 and 5200, they came with a rubber sleeve on there. I don't know if this saw came with that sleeve or not. If it did, it's missing. But looks really nice in there. The throttle linkage and everything works. The choke works. The fast idle works. I don't know if the start-stop switch works. I haven't pulled this over. I don't know if it's got spark. I have not tried to start it. But looks good there. It's got the idle adjustment screw here. It's got a Tygon fuel line that looks pretty new. Oh, but I found why the tank leaks. It has the wrong size fuel line in it. The fuel line for these is, it's a little bigger than a lot of saws. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's 1/4 inch by 1/8, 1/4 inch OD, 1/8 ID, but I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. But obviously when you fill the tank, it would leak right out, right out of there. the Tygon feels nice up here by the carburetor, but once it gets down into the tank, it feels kind of hard. So that'll be a definite replacement. And I've never seen this little piece on the tank breather, but we'll see if that works. That might even leak, I'm not sure. But so far, looking good. And I'm going to take the recoil off, and then we'll take the spark plug out. We'll take the front off of the muffler so that we can get an idea of what it looks like down in the piston and cylinder. We'll get our first look. Right. Almost there. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. The recoil. Now it's got the typical Poulan sound on it there. That's quite common. Looks good though. Pretty clean. Don't see any damage or anything. It's a little, got a little bit of gunk here by the coil and down along the bottom here. Flywheel looks good. No broken fins or anything. So as long as the coil's good and produces spark, then we should have spark. I'm going to take the spark plug out. Oh, that wasn't very tight, so maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. Maybe the owner said that it wasn't running too well, so maybe that's why. Spark plug was not real tight in there. Piston seems to move up and down pretty well. The magnets on the coil stick when they're supposed to on the flywheel. But that looks good. Now the muffler on these is fairly hollow. And as long as it's got the same design as the 4200 and the 5200, you take these two little bolts out, and this whole center piece comes out, and that's the baffle. I have noticed that the outlet to this muffler points a little more forward than on the 4200 and the 5200. They point a little bit more sideways. I mean, obviously not out straight out this way. It's still going forward, but just not quite as far forward. But all right, we'll take those off and see what that looks like down in there. There are some bend tabs for these bolts, but they're not bent up to hold them currently. So maybe somebody's been in here. But we'll take these out and see what it looks like. We got a baffle. Should be a baffle with a bunch of holes in it, surrounded by a spark arrestor. And I want to say it's on my 5200. I took the spark arrestor off of it. I don't run my saws commercially or anything, and it seemed to be running a little funny. So I took that spark arrestor off because it was it was pretty well plugged up. And as soon as I took that off, it seemed to run like it had been, very, very well. And so we'll see what this one looks like as long as it's got it. Yep. Okay. So here's the baffle. You can see, holes all the way around it. And this is the spark arrestor, and it is clean as clean can be. A little bit of carbon on it, but no buildup. Very clean. I don't think this machine has too many hours on it, but very clean on that spark arrestor. Okay, it's got a 2-ring thin ring piston by the looks of it. I'm going to grab the phone off of the tripod so I can get some light down in there, and I'll record on that, and you'll be able to see what the piston looks like at the same time I do. So let me grab the phone. Okay, so there you are looking down into the cylinder through the muffler, and hopefully it's in focus. You can see the piston. You got 2 rings there, and the piston is going up. Oh, it looks clean. I don't see any scoring. Now the piston coming down, and there's bottom dead center, and I can't get quite low enough to see what it looks like in there, but through the screen on the phone, it looks pretty clean, getting some reflection from the light on the phone, but looks pretty clean from there. So I'm pleased with that. And so hopefully we've got a runner here. I can see some oil on the piston, so that's good. Hasn't been straight gassed or anything. And now these ones, you cannot see through the intake down into the piston because this is a reed saw. And so for those of you who don't know what reeds are, down under the carburetor here, there's what's called a reed block, and that reed block feeds right into the bottom end of the engine, down where the crankshaft is. Instead of going through the bottom back side of the cylinder, it goes directly into the crankcase, and a lot like several or lots of 2-stroke dirt bikes, they're reed engines, and so that reed block has holes in it, and it's connected right to the carburetor, and those holes are covered with what are called reeds, little thin pieces of, sometimes it's metal, sometimes it's plastic, or some form of a nylon or something. My guess is these ones are probably metal, but I'm not gonna. The only reason I'll take that out is if it doesn't run, and but that block is down in here underneath the carburetor, and so this one you cannot adjust the intake opening unless you modify the reeds to be less rigid, so that they open sooner than the ones that are stock. And let's see, can we see down into the, pretty hard to see down into the, well, there's a little bit of piston. Boy, even the top of the piston doesn't have a lot of carbon on it. There's some, but yeah, looks pretty clean. This is a pretty clean saw. So, but there it is in all of its glory. A Poulan CounterVibe 4900. This is I don't think I mentioned it at the beginning of the video. This is a 77cc version of the CounterVibe saws and of the large body CounterVibe saws. And they only had 3 sizes. They had the 4200, which is, some people say 68, some people say 69 cc's. I know on mine, right on the recoil cover, right down here, it says 69 cc's on my 4200. This one, the 4900, I'll see if I can zoom in. Look at that, 77 centimeters. So this is a 77 cc saw, and the 5200 is an 85 cc saw. So I expect this one to perform, maybe have a little more power than the 4200, but not as much power as the 5200. Yeah, I'm excited to get a few things worked on this. The fuel line, there it is. You can see it, moving in the port there for the fuel tank. But we'll get a couple things fixed and see if we can get this saw up and running. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.